So Jason asked me to come on and share a little bit about what I do, and I guess I'll start off with who I am and what my business looks like, and actually how I found Jason. Right. So, I started real estate back in 2014, and primarily went into at it as like a listing specialist. My father was a broker; he went at it that way too, and so I just kind of followed that. I did things a little bit differently, but came at it more from the listing side of the business. And I thought the way that I looked at it at the time and was the listing side of the business is really, or the way that I was prospecting, the way I acquired business was probably, it was the easiest way to get started. And it's the highest margin way to do it, right? So I could keep the most amount of money doing it. So I guess how many people here now are new in the business? Okay.
Post it in the chat, guys. If you're new to the business, say what, a year or less, 2 years or less, John?
Yeah, 2 years or less.
2 years or less. Post it in the chat.
Okay, cool.
2 years, 1 month, 1 year.
Cool. And how many people are afraid to get on the phone and talk to people that they don't know, strangers?
Post it in the chat, guys. Be honest. Let's be real. Post it in the chat.
Okay. So there's a few, right? Okay. So, I mean, the way that I always looked at it, like, I mean, I'll never see these people in my whole life. I'll call them, but I'll never talk with them. I'll never see their face. Even if they tell me, call me every name in the book, I'll never see them. So it wasn't that big of a deal for me to make phone calls. But yeah, so I guess going back to it, so the way that I really thought about it is let's get on the phone, let's talk to people. There's as many leads out there as people, and let's just try to see if I can convert somebody into a sale. So that's kind of the way I was thinking about it. So it's getting started. Really, all that I would really need. And can I share my screen?
Of course.
Is that possible to do? So I create a little infographic here. So let me see. All right. Okay, cool. So I started off with some tools, right? So first is, and I'm talking about outbound prospecting, not just for sale by owners, but I'm talking about, and I know Canada's a little bit differently, but expired leads. Like these are my lead sources: expired leads, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold calls. You can go into like distressed property lists, that sort of thing, or a great list to call. And those are all sorts of lists, from divorced to probate to code violations to anything, right? So you can get all that information. But however, so getting started was really calling for sale by owners and expired listings. And what do you need to get started? Well, one is that you need a phone first. And I didn't have a dialer at first, guys. So I just went off of using my telephone. So, but I purchased Mojo Dialer, and I find that Mojo, it's a 3-line dialer. And what does that mean? It's like it dials 3 people at a time. So I found that was important for me to contact more people. I realized this is a contact sport, and Jason talks about that all the time. You got to talk to more people in order to convert sometimes. So for me, it was getting a dialer. So I purchased Mojo Dialer. The next is I needed a script to use, and I needed objection handlers. When people say no, what do I say to them, right? And then the third is I needed data. Like I needed data so I can go out there and do the research and find for sale by owners. I can find all this information, but I needed like someone to I needed that information, right? So I could start there. But as I'm going to scale this and make this easier, I wanted data. So these are the kind of the places, the tools that I started with when I first started, and I still use them today. So I'm still using Mojo Dialer. I'll share some of the scripts that I use with you guys as well. And then with data, I've used all of these, and all of them are good. So RedX is a great place to go for your data. Mojo is another data source now. They've gotten into also the data business. And then my plus leads, what I'm using as we speak, it's really for sale by owner data because it's really inexpensive data. So I think it's like $59 a month for sale by owner data. And as you guys realize, they're just pulling that data from the internet. So it's all the same stuff. Now with the numbers, you want to make sure you're getting good numbers and that sort of thing. But it has pretty good numbers as well. So that's where I started. And then so what I'm thinking is, okay, where do I start? I don't have any money. I want to start and just hit the ground running. So what I did is I had my cell phone. I grabbed data from RedX and for sale by owner data and expired data, and I just started calling people with a script that I downloaded. Right. So like I'm sure a lot of people have done this, right? Too. So that's what I did. And so anyway, so from there, I kind of evolved into setting some appointments, which is great, and we'll go into some of those scripts. But from there, I think it was really important for me to come up with like, what do I say and how do I get better at that, right? So I mean, I came up with some scripts and then I know Jason talks about it always like script practice, getting better at scripts, role playing. So setting the schedule to role play, finding a role play partner. Some people call them like a battle buddy or somebody that you're kind of in this with, that you can role play these scripts every day. So coming up with some scripts, and you guys are, I'm more than happy to share my scripts with you guys, but practicing them every day. And really the gold is in the confidence that you have in the script, whatever script you're using. So it's really the process of memorizing the script, understanding what you're going to say, being prepared for when someone gives you the objection, be able to handle that objection. It's a lot of times it's like not even what you say, it's just like how you handle that and knowing what to say when they come back with you at an objection. And so anyway, so practicing the scripts, it was really always really important. And again, I'll share that with you guys as well. And then
John, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you still practicing scripts to this day?
Yeah. So yeah, every day I'm practicing scripts. And so right now it's role playing with my ISAs, right? So before I had every morning for about 7 years, I had a role play group that I was a part of that we got on the phone from 7:30 to 8 o'clock every morning, nonstop. It was actually until I had kids that I was doing it every single day. And yeah.
So guys, listen to this, okay? He practices. How long have you been doing FSBOs, expireds, and circle prospecting for?
Yeah, since I started. So eight years.
8 years. He still practices, right? This guy's an elite level prospector doing 80 plus listings just himself a year, and he's still practicing. So I hope you guys are taking notes. A lot of you think like, oh, I read a script one time and I should, why am I not making $1 million? Well, practice. So sorry, John, I just wanted to like people to hear that from you, because I think it's important for them to understand the importance of constantly practicing and working on your skills.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the key, right? So it's just like Michael Jordan shooting layups. It's the key just to keep practicing. And I think this is really like the cornerstone of sales, right? So a lot of you guys have been are veterans at this and been doing this for a long time. But like, even when you generate leads, what are you going to say to somebody when they call you? Like, what are you going to say if you don't know, like if you haven't been practicing your scripts or if you don't have a script, right? So like, what's the cornerstone of our business? Like, we're in a sales business, and I've always started off with that premise. Like, I'm a salesperson and I'm in a sales business. Like, I don't know how everybody else sees it, but that's how I see it. This is a sales business. And so if I don't start off with something if I don't know what to say, honestly, what am I doing? Right. So to your point, Jason, yeah, absolutely. So practicing every day, even to this day, I'm practicing every day, and it's cool right now. So now I'm teaching it. And that's like even practicing, right? I'm even getting better now because I'm teaching it, right? So that which is pretty cool. So the next thing is like the next level I went to was I got a stand-up desk, and I want to break this down like really simple for you guys to start like with steps. I got a stand-up desk, right? And I think that was really cool, right? So for me to be able to talk and stand up, and I don't sit down all day. I have a bar stool I'll rest my knee on. Maybe I'll sit down, but I'm always up talking. And being able to be up talking is like I can use my hands. I can walk around the room. You know, I have a headset. I'm always animated. I'm always talking, right? So got a stand-up desk. I have a script book in front of me, so you guys can't see it. Maybe you can see it here, but I have all of my scripts in front of me, right? So if I go through them, I'm going through like my pre-qualifying scripts, my expired script, the objections on the other page, the FSBO script, the objections on the other page, the just listed, just sold objections on the other page, you know, my probate script, the objections on the other page, right? So all of that stuff. So I'm setting up a prospecting station. I mean, if you guys are going to get started doing this, I highly recommend having a prospecting station. So before I had the script book, which you guys can purchase this on Amazon, it's pretty cool and it kind of bolts to the wall. But also it's just like a tri-fold cardboard fold, you know, bifold or trifold, where you can stand up in front of you with all your scripts on there and all of your objection handlers. So using that going through as when you're talking to somebody on the phone, it's really helpful. I mean, before you in the progress of you understanding your scripts to know exactly where to go when they're asking you a question. So I would highly recommend getting started with maybe, I mean, if you don't have a stand-up desk, but definitely having a script book or, you know, what do you call them? These things, right? So using that as like a vision board, right?
Oh yeah.
So putting all your scripts on that and getting started until you have it like down pat, right? So you always have somewhere to kind of reference and somewhere to go. Post them on your wall, right? Post them all over your walls in front of you.
John,
But,
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Would it be safe to say that you're really well prepared?
What do you mean?
It sounds like you're prepared. Like when you get on the phones, like it's intentional. You've got your scripts there. You've done your practice. You've got everything. Your equipment's there. Like you are prepared when you go into you're not winging anything.
No, I'm definitely not winging anything. Yeah, and having everything very prepared, very scripted. Yeah, exactly. Always.
But it doesn't. And are we going to get a chance to do a little? Can I put you on the spot at some point and do a little
Sure.
role play of your script?
Sure.
Because
yeah, let's
I think that's going to be super valuable.
It.
I want people to hear it, and then everybody's asking for a copy of it too, which I know you're gonna provide people, which is great. But he's using the word script, but I'm telling you guys, script doesn't mean it sounds scripted. You're going to see it's very, very natural how he does it, and it's going to come off very conversational. So he's a master and ninja, and he's worked at it. So anyway, sorry, John, I didn't want to jump in there, but I just wanted to make that point.
Totally, yeah, no problem. Yeah, jump in anytime. So I wanted to start off with this because I think this really would help me understand the outline. I'm a kind of a big picture. I want to understand like why, like what are we doing, why. And so this is my process, guys. So I'm prospecting first. So I'm prospecting, but we'll go over that today, right? And then I'm setting the appointment at the end of the prospecting script. I'm always setting the appointment. What does that look like? That's an alternative choice close. What works better for you, Jason, today at 2 or does tomorrow work better for you? Right. So there's always an alternative choice close, and it's always about them. It's never about me, right? What works better for you? I'm giving them my times. However, it's about what works better for you. And we're always with sales, again, in my process, it's always you, never I, right? So we want to take I out of the equation. So from there, it's setting the appointment. Next, for my process, for all of my sale on the listing side, and I guess you can call it on the buyer side too, but it's the pre-qual. So there's a pre-qual script, right? I never not pre-qual, even if it's my grandmother. I'm always pre-qualifying, always. So one of the most important parts of the script. And some people say it's even the listing presentation, right? That's the first part of the listing presentation is the pre-qual, right? Next is the listing presentation, and then next we're signing the listing. So today we're going to be talking about prospecting and setting the appointment. So now with for sale by owners, and this is one lead source, there's for sale by owners, and then there's objection handlers, right? So, and how does that look, right? So when we go through the script, I'm sure a lot of you guys might have went through a for sale by owner script or an expire script or whatever. People like objections come up like during the script, they interrupt you, right? Like, no, I'm not interested, or call me back later, or whatever it is, or and so when that sort of thing happens, my technique is I'm moving right to an objection handler, right? And these objection handlers are universal. They can be used, really you'll see for any objection. It just kind of, but what we're thinking about for sale by owner, it really boils down to what are for sale by owners? Does anybody know, like, what are for sale by owners? What do they care about the most?
Can I guess?
Most, getting the most for their house.
Totally. Yeah. It's all about price and commission. It's all about price and commission. That's all they care about, net, right? Like, what's your commission? Like, what's the price? If they're asking your commission, actually, you're kind of moving in the right direction, right? But like, what's like, so what do we have to show them? We have to show them that we can net more money from them than they can sell it themselves, right? Or what do we have? Or we have to talk about that to them, right? At least. So, okay, cool. So let's roll through it. So Jason, if you want to be the seller,
Sure.
And so guys, so most of the time I don't make it all the way through the script. However, if you can make it through it, fantastic, right? So Jason, if you want to give me an objection and anywhere during that script, and we can kind of go from there, right?
All right, let's do it. I love it.
Okay.
John, ready? You want to be the telephone? I'll be the client.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Jason, or excuse me. Hello, I was calling for the owner of the home for sale.
Yeah, that's me.
Perfect. How you doing? My name is Jon Carroll with the Carroll Home Team. I'm calling because I'm working with a number of buyers and sellers right now in the area. And I was calling to see if I could ask you a couple of questions about your home, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. Make it quick.
Perfect. Yeah, no problem. So Jason, have you done any changes or perhaps modifications to the property since you owned it that you believe might affect its value in some way?
Yeah, I mean, we've got new roof, new countertops, fully painted, new flooring. Like, the house has been we put a lot of money into it. Looks really nice.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like a really nice property, Jason. I mean, how come you're selling it?
Yeah, we're just wanting to move out of state.
Okay, so you guys are thinking, great, you're moving out of state. Okay, perfect. And then how soon do you see yourselves being out of state?
We're not in a rush. I mean, just, whenever the right person comes along and get the right price for the home.
Okay, yeah. So you guys, it sounds like you're not in a rush. Whenever you get the right price for the home. And what has you guys moving out of state? What takes you there?
I just want to be closer to our kids.
Be closer to your kids. Okay, got it. So it sounds like you guys are selling the house to get closer to family. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, perfect. And Jason, in terms of like marketing, what are you all doing to market the property at the moment?
Well, we've got it listed on the MLS, and we've got we did a professional photos, and we have a video on the internet, have it on Facebook, YouTube.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So it sounds like you guys have the irons in some fires there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then I see you have it listed right now at 750,000. How did you guys determine that sales price?
Well, one of the neighbors' houses sold for 775,000, 6 months ago, and our house is nicer. So.
Okay. Yeah. I see that too. You're right. I would agree with you. Your home is nicer. And why did you guys decide to sell it yourself rather than use a real estate agent?
Well, agents are a ripoff. Your commissions are like, it's ridiculous. Like, you guys don't do any work and you make $30,000. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, no, I completely understand, Jason. Yeah. But I mean, if there was a better way, Jason, at least for you to sell your property, where you would net more money after the commission, I mean, would you consider it?
I mean, I've had a lot of realtors call me, John. A lot of realtors call me, and they're always trying to tell me they can sell it for more money. Well, why haven't they brought a realtor through, or not a realtor, but a client?
That's a great question. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you knew there was a better way to get the home sold, Jason, I mean, would you at least care to know about it?
Sure.
You would. Okay, Jason. Yeah. What works better for you? Does today at 2:00 work better, or tomorrow at 4? I would love to show you exactly how we're helping a number of sellers just like yourself net more money, put more money in your pocket. And there's so many reasons
John,
for that, Jason.
I'm gonna start right there. How can you net me more money when you got to get paid for your services? That's going to cost me, $30,000.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's a lot of money.
It's a great question. Why do you think some agents sell a lot of homes, Jason, while others don't really sell many at all?
I guess I'm not sure. Skills, marketing. I don't know.
Absolutely, Jason. And yeah, and that's exactly why we should get together. What works better for you? Does today at work at 2, or does tomorrow work better for you and your wife at 4:00?
Now, John, let me ask you this. Are you this persistent with every opportunity that comes on the listing if I end up working with you?
I mean, is that what you're looking for?
Well, you're not taking no for an answer, are you?
Yeah. Well, Jason, I would love just to get together with you to show you how I could be helpful and put more money in your pocket. And if it doesn't make sense for you, it's obviously your choice to hire me, right?
All right.
All right. Perfect. So does today at 2 work?
Sure.
Great. So you see, guys, so what happened there was we went through the script, right? Jason gave me an objection regarding price, like commission price. You guys are gonna, whatever. How do you determine whatever? You guys charge so much money, whatever. And then from there, I'm just asking them questions, right? Open-ended questions, and also I can use the same things. I can use these same objections for whatever Jason asked. Whatever he said, I could say the same thing. And I would just go down the list, right? So Jason,
why don't we do this, John? Why don't we put you to the test? Guys, post some objections in the chat, and I'm gonna hammer John with some objections, and we'll literally see how you do it. I mean, John, how many typical objections would you face before you get the appointment?
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes 3 or 4, right? And what the sellers are doing, they're testing you. They're just testing you to see, how much you know, and how confident you are. Like, I mean, just me doing that with Jason, he's like, okay, got it. Yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. Like, let me meet with him, right? So yeah, so like a couple. This depends. Also, it depends what for sale by owners too, guys. Is like, if a lot of times if you're in the right place at the right time, so if they're ready. Like, and why a for sale by owner is going to be such a great lead source moving forward, because the market's changing. And before they were selling themselves, now it's not happening. Just like your listings are sitting on the market for 45 days, theirs are sitting on there for probably 90, right? So if you're calling them and if you're calling them on Mondays, why are Mondays a great time to call for sale by owners?
Because it's another depressing weekend where they didn't get the activity they wanted.
Right. So they had their open house, right? And then it didn't work out, right? So, gosh,
John, I've got a couple objections I'm going to throw your way. Okay.
Sure. Yep.
Listen, I only would pay 1% if you listed the property, because I just think you guys are scams. You guys are way overpriced.
Yeah. So Jason, I mean, what's more important to you? Is it paying 1%, or is it just netting the most amount of money?
Well, I mean, if you put it simplistically like that, obviously netting the most money.
Of course. Yeah. And that's exactly, again, why we should get together. I have some time today at 2, but does 4:00 work better for you and the family?
Well, here's the thing. Like, John, I've been getting a lot of traffic through my open houses. Like, we're getting, good amount of people through the house.
Yeah, no, that sounds great, Jason. I mean, how come, do you have any offers?
No, not yet, but we've been close. We had a second showing the other day.
Perfect. Perfect. And if I could bring you an offer, gosh, in the next, 20 days or so, I mean, would that cause a problem for you?
No, that wouldn't suck.
Yeah, let's get together. So Jason, I have some time today at 2, or does 4:00 work better for you?
Well, John, why can't you just tell me here on the phone, what you're doing differently. I mean, I don't have time to meet. I'm busy.
Yeah, Jason. Well, what we're doing differently is we're putting more money in our seller's pocket, net bottom line after the commission. And there's so many reasons for that, Jason. Again, like I mentioned, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have some time today at 4:00. Or what works better for you? Does tomorrow work better for you and your wife?
Well, here's the other thing too, though. My cousin's going to do it for 1%.
Yeah. And are you guys looking to do it for like a friend a favor or cousin a favor? Or are you looking to get the most amount of money?
What do you mean do my cousin a favor? I mean, they're a realtor. You guys
Okay.
are the same, right?
I mean, if you knew that like someone could, if you knew that I was able to net you more money than your cousin, I mean, would you be open to the possibility? Would you be open to listing the property with me?
Well, if you could net me more money, but again, I mean, realtors are pretty much all the same.
Yeah, I mean, if you knew that I could sell the property more than your cousin can, I mean, obviously that would be important to you, correct?
Yeah.
Of course, and that's why we should get together. And so, does 2:00 work better for you?
Sure, 2:00 works.
So, yeah.
And here's the thing, guys. There's literally nothing that I'm going to say towards John that he won't have an answer for, ever. And because he's practiced, he's done this so many times, right? Him and I might vary slightly on how we would approach the objections, but the bottom line is we both would be able to confidently tackle the objections because we've practiced them. And I think this is like a great example. Now, let me ask you something, John, because I know you talked about pre-qualifying, and I'm a huge fan on pre-qualifying. I noticed you're going for the appointment. Here's something that I think is really important. I want to get your take on this. Is this something you're doing? If you book an appointment with me, for example, my wife's also a key decision maker. Is there anything that you do to ensure that she'll be at the meeting too? Like, I'd kind of be curious. And I know that you're dealing with a colder lead source that wasn't necessarily expecting to have you come through the house, but how you're overcoming that.
Yeah, it's a great question. So yeah, I asked that question on the prequel. So I'm trying to set the appointment, just trying to set the appointment for you. And then you're like, okay, fine, John, I'll meet with you. Okay. And then the prequel comes. And one of the questions of the prequel, Jason, I can hear it in your voice that you're super excited. It's all very scripted, right? This prequel is, I hear in your voice that you're super excited. I'm curious, how does your wife feel about it? Right. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, yeah, she's actually, we're moving closer to her parents. She's on the same page. Got it. Okay. So you guys are definitely on the same page. So okay. Then but
you always ensure that both or all decision makers are at the appointment when you show up, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So the guys, that's really important. If you guys are listening to this, like, you always want to make sure all decision makers are present, because you are wasting your time. If I show up at John's house and Rachel's not there, and I know Rachel's John's wife, there's a 0% probability that I'm listing the property. And there's a high probability that Rachel might be slightly offended too. Like, well, why wasn't I involved in that meeting? Like, what is this, like some little boys club or something like that? And immediately that puts a target on my back. And chances are I may never even get the opportunity to list that property. So always ensure that all decision makers are there. I think that's really, really important. A couple more here, John. So John, why are you never explaining how? I'd like to understand the purpose.
Sure. I think that we want to get there, right? And we want to be the one. I want to be the one controlling the conversation. So I want to book the appointment. I don't care. I'm just going to book the appointment, and then I'm going to get to the prequel, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions to understand like more about it, right? And obviously Jason's like, okay, I understand. He asked me how. Jason was like, hey, like, how are you going to do it? And I just explained it to him, and he was satisfied with the answer, right? And so then I'm moving, and then I'm moving past that. I'm going to the prequel. I'm asking you more questions about you to understand. And then on the presentation, we can talk about how, but honest to God, guys, how doesn't come up for me. Like people don't care about how. Like, so Jason, like, for my listing presentation, I send them like my track record. Some of you guys don't have a track record, but I send them my seller profile, right? Or my seller guide. And that's how, right? But like, my how is my track record.
Interesting. Right? Okay. I like it. Somebody asked, John, do you call back if they hang up?
No.
Okay. Move on.
Well, it depends on the lead source, right? So it depends on the conversation. So in the for sale by owner, like, no, I just move forward.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Fair, honest answer. I love it. All right, cool. That was good. That was actually awesome to kind of role play that and to really see that. I hope you guys were taking some notes there. And again, John, you'll make your scripts available for people that asked, or
Totally. Yeah. I'll send I don't know how, if you guys want to, if you want, I can send them to you, Jason,
Sure.
and then you can send them to everybody.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
Awesome.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does a FSBO differ from maybe an expired, or you just circle prospecting a neighborhood?
Yeah. So a FSBO is a little bit more like, a FSBO is a little bit more open to talking with you, which is great to practice, right? It's a great lead source to start with. For sale by owners are going to be a little bit more upset, right? Because their home's on the market for 6 months and expired off the market. A for sale expired is going to be a little bit more of an aggressive. You need to be a little bit more of aggressive. In my approach, it's like, I just want to be more aggressive. They're going to hit me with that objection, and I'm going to fire that back at them just with the same ferocity. So it's a little bit different. And I can share with you guys the expired script, but it's and I'll share that with Jason as well. It's very similar with regards to the approach, but it's just a little bit more. They're a little bit more upset.
Okay, let's hear it. So, Joe, telephone.
Oh, you guys want to work it? You guys want to try it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's just see. I'll try to be like somewhat reasonable too.
All right, ring, ring, ring.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. I was looking for Jason.
Yeah, this is Jason.
Hey, Jason, this is Jon Carroll with the Carroll Home Team. I'm sure you figured out this morning that your home came across our computer as an expired listing. And I was just calling to see, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent, Jason, for the job of getting the home sold?
Well, you're like the 12th person that's called me, John. And, we're just not sure what we're going to do right now.
Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like I'm the 12th person that called you and you're not really quite sure what you're going to do. I hate when folks have to give up on their plans, Jason, of getting their home sold. However, if you sold this home, where were you guys going next?
Well, we need to downsize. The house is just too big. It's 4,000 square feet, and it's just me and my wife, and she's got a bad hip.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys were interested in selling. You wanted to downsize to something a little bit smaller for your wife's sake. And I mean, how soon did you guys want to be in the new home or be downsized?
Well, I mean, if the market wasn't so crappy, it would have happened sooner, but it seems like our timing was pretty bad.
Yeah. No, I saw a home on the market for, 6 months now. I mean, what do you think stopped it from selling?
Honestly, I don't think the agent did anything. I don't think they marketed. I don't think they did anything. I didn't get to them very much, and I just don't think that they had time for it.
Yeah, no, I see that. And honestly, it's not uncommon for me to hear that, to be and then how did you happen to pick the agent that you listed with?
Well, it was like, my wife's cousin, Vinny.
Okay. Vinny. Okay. Got it. And what do you feel they did best?
Well, I don't think they did. I don't know. I don't know why we picked them in the end. I guess we felt the loyalty to them because it was my wife's cousin, Vinny.
Got it. Yeah, of course. To get the home.
Oh, sorry. You still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
What do you feel they should have done?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they did a whole lot. I didn't really get a lot of communication from Vinny. So it's kind of, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so now, did you guys receive any offers?
No, we didn't get any offers.
Okay. Deserve something better, Jason. I would love to meet with you. What works better for you today at 2, or does 4 o'clock work better?
Well, I'd have to talk to my wife, John, and just see what she thinks here.
Yeah, I mean, if I could bring you a highly qualified buyer, gosh, Jason, within the next few weeks, I mean, would that cause any problem for you?
I don't know. I don't think it would cause any problem.
Okay, perfect. I have some time this afternoon. I'll be picking up a lockbox and sign on the neighbor's property right around the corner from yours. What works better for you? 2 o'clock, or does 4 o'clock work better?
Yeah, I mean, I really got to talk to the wife though, just make sure she's on board.
Okay. Yeah, so let's do this. You talk with your wife. If that time makes sense, let's just book it. And if it doesn't, just feel free to give me a call and we can always reschedule it. I'll see you today at 2.
Okay.
Good.
There you go. Stick a ninja.
That's it. That's a good one. I like that one. So like that talk to the wife one always is the one you get that a lot, right? So it's just book it and cool. And if that time works for her, fantastic. If it doesn't work for her, we can always reschedule it. I'll see you today at 2.
Perfect. No, that's awesome, man. So again, a lot of the same strategy and methods that you're doing for FSBOs, it's not dramatically different, right? The scripts are very much the same. It's the same principles and the same things, right?
Yeah. And then I think it's important, I'll take it one step further, is like from there, it's really, this is what it sounds like, right? It goes, okay, so Jason, there's a few questions I would like to ask just to make sure I could be fully prepared, provide you with the most accurate information, really be the best assistance to you. I'll be brief. I know your time's very valuable, right? So that's always goes there, and then pre-qual, right? And then so always, so again, so if we went back to that seller process, it's the same thing, right? Same thing, expired, kind of the same process. Set the appointment, which is me giving you the alternative choice close. What works better for you, Jason? Always closing, always be closing, right? And then it's the pre-qual, right? And so, and then the listing presentation.
Love it. John, what, anything, I want to be respectful of your time. Anything else that you think is really important that you think people that are going to be doing FSBOs and expireds come to understand? And then we'll open it up to some questions as well, if you're open to it, John, from the viewers.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. I think that's the most part. I think if you guys getting started, just it's finding, if you're doing for sale by owners, you can find them and call them by hand to get started, to get used to it. But having the script, knowing where to find them and just going at it, just go and just, again, I love to say that you can't skin your knees. What is it? You can't learn to ride your bike in a real estate seminar, right? So, or in a seminar rather, that's what I meant to say. So the idea is just to go out and skin your knees and learn and make mistakes, get at as many at bats as you can, mess up, come back, ask questions. And that's really the process.
Well, and the other thing too that I'd highly recommend, guys, is look for mentorship, right? Guys like Jon Carroll, for example, coaches, people that have done what you want to do. And those are the kind of people that you need to be talking to on a regular basis, right? These are the people that you need to be learning from. Just evaluate the rooms that you're hanging out in. Are you the smartest person? Well, that's a problem. If you're the smartest person, then you're a school teacher, and no offense, but they don't always make the most amount of money. So you need to be in environments where people, and I love teachers, by the way, I'm just using it as an example. If you want to make more money, which is what a lot of you are trying to do in this business, is you need to go and change the rooms that you're in. Look for mentorship. We have such an amazing value exchange within our group here. I mean, John is one of amazing mega agents that we have in our group that are willing to literally share with you exactly what they're doing in their playbook to help you be successful. And, I really think it's important that you guys just take this knowledge and go and apply it. Instead of just like being like, oh, this was great information, then moving on with your day. How about you create an action plan now? Like, hey, let me go and tackle this. And it's amazing what happens. John, what would you say your success rate, just to give people sort of some realistic expectations too, like for every 100 for sale by owners, FSBOs that you talk to, how many do you think you're landing an appointment with?
Yeah, a few, not a lot, right? So, I mean, I can set the appointment, right? So probably out of 100, maybe a handful, 5,
So
not
there
many.
you go. 5 out of 100. So that means John is getting rejected 95 times to get 5 listing appointments. How many of you are willing to have that level of perceived failure? Yet John is one of a very successful agent. He's done very well for himself. How many of you are willing to be rejected that many times? And the answer is many of you are a little thin-skinned, and I don't know that you would do very well. Right. But reality of it is if you can get past your ego and you can get past the whole idea of being rejected, there's 5 opportunities which could lead to an incredible amount of income. Out of those 5 appointments, Jon, how many do you end up getting the listing?
Yeah, I think I'd probably 3 out of 5. Right. So that's my idea. Like, so if going 5 listing appointments a week and take 3. So like I have like that. But yeah, so 3 out of 5.
So there you go. So, and how many contacts are you making on average per day, and how many days a week are you prospecting?
Yeah. So when I first started, it was like 40, right? So now it's down to like, it's not as many, right? Because I have people calling for me. But yeah, when I first started, 40 contacts a week. And the goal, that's the goal. So someone was like, well, my question always was to my real estate coach was, how do I do 100 deals a year? How do I do 100 deals a year? That was always it. Like, how do I do 100 deals a year? And it was like, well, that's exactly how you do it, right? So you set 5, go on 3, take 2. That's how you do 100 deals a year. Set 5, go on 3, take 2. Set 5, go on 3, take 2 each week. Do that every week, and you'll do 100 deals a year.
There you go.
Right? 100 listings, right?
Yeah. 100 listings, which will lead to 80 sales, 75, 80 sales.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In a normal market. I mean, not every listing is going to sell, but a high majority of them can if you have good processes and systems. And again, there's so much more in our collaborative movement that's available. If you guys want to learn how to manage listings for the long haul, how to get sellers to price it correctly, how to really get these things move where you're selling the majority of the listings you take. We have so much training around that. Jon, thank you so much. How can people support you in your business? Like what market are you in? How can people collaborate with you? So
find me on Instagram. So like Jon_W_Carroll. Love to be friends with you on Instagram. It's a great place for me to collaborate. We have a YouTube site. It's at the Carroll Home Team YouTube site, the Carroll Home Team. And those are probably the best places. If you guys have questions, just reach out. I'd love to help in any way possible. And I'll share my scripts with everybody too.
And what about referrals? What market are you in? How can people send you referrals?
Yeah, I'm in the East Coast of Florida, so Central East Coast, from Cape Canaveral to Stuart, Florida, so almost to Palm Beach.
Okay, awesome. And guys, if we can help you in any way, obviously this is what the whole collaborative movement's about. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you guys level up in your business. Jon, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Some great value. By the way, guys, you did all get an email with the with the scripts. So it may have, check your junk folders, check your promotions folders or whatever, but it was sent out to everybody. It is there. So take a look. We made all the scripts available. We'll have this recorded as well. It'll be in our collaborative movement content library. So for any of our EXP partners and our Sims coaching students, you'll have access to this recording. And we have things going on every week. Jon, you do some training on every couple Fridays. Yep. Is that right?
Every Friday at 11 o'clock, we do training. So it's either me or my wife. So on the selling side, it's going to be me on the selling process, and the buyer's side, it's my wife. I think she just did one last week on the buyer presentation. So yeah,
there you go. So every Friday, 11 Eastern time, Jon and Carroll putting on value. Tomorrow for our EXP partners, our Sims coaching students, we got our ISA zone. So if you want to learn how to convert at a world-class level, want to learn what the best in the industry are doing when it comes to sales conversion processes, systems, you want to check into that. Joe, we have any business planning sessions coming up as well?
Yeah, in an hour.
In an hour. There we go. We have business planning sessions coming for our EXP partners and our Sims coaching students.
You got it.
You guys, we're here to help you guys level up. We're doing some amazing things, and couldn't be more grateful for everybody that tuned in today. So have an awesome day, everyone. Thanks again, Jon. That was awesome.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Everyone.